I've made some brownies once, and oh, it's horrible.
Oh yeah, no. Brownies. Oh, yeah, I've tried that too. I try to follow the directions, exactly on whatever I'm making, and it never turns out right. So I just say, all right, I give up. Let my kids make it; they'll do a better job, or let my wife do it, and it'll it'll be
Your
better.
your kids, they're kids. That's cool. You can have kids do your your meals.
Yeah. Oh,
They're-
that's one of the great things about them getting a little older is now that they can do some things. They can go mow the yard. They can bake the brownies. They can do stuff.
yeah. If they want to, or you
I
force
don't
them
have to
to.
do it all.
My son does things only when he wants to.
All
Still.
right. Oh, I lost you.
Oh no! How do you lose me? How'd you
Weird.
lose
I
me?
see that you're talking,
Yeah, I'm
but all
here.
of a sudden I don't hear it. Why?
Well,
That
no.
could be on my end.
Is it on your end? The
I just
challenge is.
unmuted the stream itself and I hear both of us talking,
Can you hear me now?
but in guest star, now I don't.
Are you streaming live too? No.
1 second. Okay. Huh.
So I end?
Still nothing.
Weird.
Let me just try and bypass that altogether. Oh, what
Bacon
sound was
brownies.
muted on this page? What? I didn't tell you to do that. There we go.
All right, we're back.
We're back. Sorry about
Okay.
that. That
No,
was
that's
me.
fine. Are you streaming too or no?
No, I'm not
Oh,
live
okay.
right now.
Okay, cool. Have you used this yet?
Yeah, this is only I think the second time I've used it on this side of it. I've used it once, just trying it out. I had seen that Mother Goose was doing it, and I was watching
Yeah.
a stream, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then she was in my chat, and I was like, dude, tell me how does that work? How do you set it up? How do you do it? And so she walked me through it, and we just in the moment tested it out. And then she came on and talked. Then I had some other people come on and use it too. So I used that side of it, and but then this past Wednesday. I was on with Flat Cap Dapper Pastor on the Twitch, the Church Digital's Twitch page, and we had a conversation about streaming and digital ministry type of stuff. And so that was my first time to use it calling in.
Sure.
It's a really, really handy little tool. I really like
Yeah.
it.
It's better. It's better now. It used to be called guest star, and it still is. If you look on the top, you can see the URL.
Mm-hmm.
It still say that.
Oh,
But
yeah, that's right.
yeah, but it has improved quite a bit because I remember Christian Ninja using it for one of his events, and he just said, "Nope, not doing it. We're going somewhere else."
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah, it's
went
a
to
little
Video Ninja.
intimidating.
I think that's where he
Oh,
went.
really?
Yeah.
That's what we use for church. Like here at my church, we just stream with iPhones for the cameras. So they're
Oh,
just like
sure.
set up and they're all just, Video Ninja into a Mac that runs the stream.
Yeah.
That's a handy tool too.
Yeah, it is. It's good. I know my partner who unfortunately usually basically runs this blessing boat event can't make it because his internet
Mm.
went out, and so
Oh, was
they're
it part
trying
of
to
what you
fix
were
it.
you were telling me about?
No,
Like the
this is
transformers
different.
and
No,
stuff?
he's in California. I'm in Honduras, so I have no idea what
Oh.
happened.
Huh.
But he can't get it fixed until maybe Monday. So, and obviously mine, thank God, came back. I was so nervous about it. I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? You know, because
Well,
everything's on
it
the
all
grid.
worked out.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
all worked out. So God wanted this to happen, and He made it happen. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I appreciate you being in here, man. I'm sure a lot of people have questions about you, about your streaming and stuff like that, and you obviously have said that many times in your own stream. But I got, the three questions that I threw out at you that I want to kind of
Mm-hmm.
go through and, kind of learn more about you, and hopefully we can pray for you, and hopefully you have more followers coming in out of this, and we can kind of
Yeah.
work together down the road even more than we have now. But obviously, you have been a streamer for how long? 7 years now?
I'm in my 7th year, so
Wow.
a little over 6. My first stream was February 16th, 2019. So I know a lot of people kind of started with the whole COVID shutdown whatever thing, and I was a little bit before that. So it just whenever that happened and so many more people were online, it just opened many more doors to meet more people. But yeah, I actually started before that. And so I've been doing this, yeah, over 6 years, which just, it's, what is time? Like, it just blows my mind to think that it's been that long, when it feels like I've just started this. It's kind of like with kids, you feel like your kid was just born, but at the same time you can't remember life before them or without them. It's kind of the same way. I feel like I've been doing this forever, but also like I just started. But whenever I see old clips of my stuff before I had the beard, like, oh yeah, no, that was a long time ago because I look like a child. So yeah, I guess I've been doing it a while.
So you grow older as you become a streamer, right?
You do. Yeah, it ages you in many ways because it can be stressful and
Yeah.
annoying and lots of the little tech issues that go wrong. And yeah, it advances the grays, but there's wisdom in gray hair, so I'll take it, I guess.
I don't see no gray hair though, man. I see more gray
Not
hair in
yet,
me.
not yet. It'll be here, I'm sure, before too long.
So obviously you've been streaming for a long time, and that's great. But what got you into streaming?
Yeah. So it's funny. It was my wife, of all things and all people, that was really the impetus for it, because I've been in pastoral ministry here at my local church for, we're in our 17th year of doing that. But I've been a gamer and nerd and whatever and all this. Like, I've always enjoyed this stuff, my whole life. Like, as long as I can remember, I grew up playing the NES, playing Super Mario Brothers with the controller upside down because I couldn't read yet. So I've been a gamer my whole life. But my wife is from a little East Texas town of about 1,000 people. Didn't have internet until her junior year in high school, and even then it was a dial-up modem, and she thought that was incredible. Didn't have texting until college, whenever I forced her to get it so I could text her because we were starting to date. Like, she just never around technology or anything, but it was her suggestion in probably about January of 2019, because a little bit before. And she said, is there some way to combine your love of ministry and the Bible and sharing the gospel and those kind of things with gaming and tech and all those other things that you really enjoy, those the hobbies that you love? I was like, nah, probably not, but that would be awesome. So, like, at first I was just like, no, there's no way. But then as I started thinking about it, I was like, I know about this website Twitch, which I had not really done anything with. I had a username on it since 2018, but that was just because I was trying to find a username that was available on all platforms, and I was just snagging them, and I was playing with different spellings of my name, Dustin, until I got Dootsyn. And so I got that username, but I didn't start using it until I started streaming. But so I was like, I know Twitch is a website that's directed primarily at gamers, and the cool unique thing is that it's built on live interaction. I was like, that could be a really cool way to do what I enjoy, playing games and that kind of stuff, um, and at the same time be able to meet gamers where they're at and try to be a light in a dark place, because I didn't know of anyone else doing that except for Pastor Susie. I knew that he was doing it. And I was like, well, I guess, maybe I'll be the second one. I don't know. But I was very fortunate to find out that no, there were many others. Now there's way, way, way more.
Mhm.
But back then there weren't many, but I was happy to see that there were some other people who kind of felt that same call, that same draw to a very unique type of ministry opportunity. So, little East Texas girl from, no internet, no gaming, no nothing, who grew up playing on hay bales and running in the field and making mud pies, was the one who
Oh.
suggested this idea of using this super advanced tech type of ministry idea to try and reach people with the gospel. And so glad that she did. And man, just haven't looked back. I've loved every moment of it. There's been highs, there's been lows, but man, like I pray all the time at the beginning of my own streams, I say, Lord, thank you for today, another opportunity to do this. And I will do this as long as you will allow me to do this, because this is awesome.
That is cool. That's great that your wife supports you too. I mean, and she's the one who gave you the idea.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
wife, on the other hand, she's not like that.
No.
No.
Well, even most people in my life, they don't understand this at all. My wife
Yeah.
still to this day does not understand it. My church does not understand it, but they're completely in my corner.
Right.
I'm the associate pastor at my church. I've been here, like I said, 17 years. My lead pastor, he's been here. He's in his 30th year, so we've been working together a
Wow.
long time. And I talked to him about it too, as I was, thinking about it and praying about it and feeling like, I feel like this is something the Lord's wanting me to do, but maybe it's just I really want to do it because it sounds really fun. So I was trying to, navigate through that, and I went to him and talked to him about it, and he said, "Man, I don't understand most of what you're saying, but I get the heart, and I think you
Yeah.
have the skill set. So yeah, go for it. You got my support." And so the church has been behind me on that 100%. And I mean, I stream from my church office.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, I've had lots of people in my corner, even if they don't understand what it is. So having you know voices that you care about and that hold weight in your life that can catch the vision and support you and push you is a very very helpful thing.
It's a very big thing. Yeah. Well, I know obviously I've asked you many times if you could become part of Blessing Boat, and you're saying, "Oh, I'm always busy Saturday," and
I
I kept
know.
on bugging
I'm
you.
never here on Saturday ever.
uh,
Like this is I went out of my way to make sure that I could be a part of this today. And dude, thank you for thinking of me and inviting me. And
yeah.
congratulations on 4 years. This is awesome.
It's
Um,
amazing. It's amazing. I
yeah,
didn't think it'd
it's
last this long.
well, I'm glad it is, and
Yeah.
and man, many more years to come because it's
Thank
been
you.
effective and it's doing an awesome thing. But yeah, typically I'm never here on Saturdays, so that's my day to be out doing all the other things that I got to do.
Right.
So I rarely come up to the office on Saturday. In fact, even this morning we had a one of our nephews over that we were taking care of in the morning. I went to our alumni day from college and my previous life and playing tennis and whatever and having a good time there. Yeah, that's why I can barely even breathe today. I'm so out of shape. Haven't played in forever. It was a lot of fun, but man, it was rough on my body. I will be feeling it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, and
Home
yeah,
someday.
then just got over here to hang out and do this.
No, I really appreciate that too. I mean, obviously, because I bugged you for a while, and obviously I kind of gave up, and then all of a sudden you say, "Yeah, I'll do this," and I'm like, "What?" So
Yeah.
I'm curious of why you did do it. I mean, obviously, we kind of knew each other here and there and stuff, but I'm kind of curious why you wanted to do this today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to celebrate and be a
Mhm.
part of it because it's such a big deal
Yeah,
to hit those year milestones. There's so many people who get into streaming and they're really excited and gung ho about this and that and whatever because it is really exciting. But when push comes to shove, when things get tough, it does kind of weed out some people, unfortunately.
yeah,
But to see people who are able to hit those yearly milestones, especially whenever it's something unique like this, that's like a very others focused ministry helping type of thing. Man, I think that's something to celebrate. So I'm happy
cool.
to be a part of this and give my thoughts and help any way that I can. So yeah, I'm pumped about it.
So, well, I was thinking too that one thing that impressed me was, I don't know how long it was, but before you came on, you were talking about how to make a stream better. Is you basically look at what your VOD was, and then the next
Hmm.
time do something different, and be able
Yep.
to do that for years. I haven't done
Yes.
that, but I have made a lot of improvements. Christian Ninja helped me with that. I went through his class,
Hmm.
so the first class he ever did. Maybe it got better. I don't know. I might have to take a refresh
Nice.
course. But
Yeah.
obviously, there's a lot of things that, like we talked about, there's a lot of things you learn. I mean, obviously, this is a new platform with the stream together. Um,
Right.
do you feel that obviously has propelled you because you're not you're thinking about your audience and your viewership as more opposed to, well, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. You're
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
finding something that they
I
want.
Right. Yeah, I try to be very intentional about everything that I do on my streams and in my videos and on these platforms, because we only have so much time to work with, and I want to do everything to the best of my ability, do it as unto the Lord. So I view all of this. While yeah, like we said, it's very fun. I'm getting to meet people and make friends, and that's great. At the end of the day, 1,000 years from today. none of those little things are going to matter. So I'm
Mhm.
trying to focus on kingdom impact, and I feel like the way I can have the most kingdom impact is to do everything to the best of my ability. So
Yeah.
if I do that, that may just be the little thing that gives me an opportunity to share the things that truly matter with someone, to plant a seed of the gospel, to be a light in a dark place, to share hope with someone that maybe is at the end of their rope. Because if they came in and they're the type of person who they don't watch something unless it looks just right or sounds just right, or they're not the right type of personality or what, I want to like give myself every advantage and opportunity to be able to have that moment with people, because at the end of all of this, the games, the stream, the tech, the lights, the cameras, it's all fun, but it's about people, it's about
Mhm.
ministry, it's about relationships. So I do
Amen.
it for that. um, and yeah, so I for over 6 years now, I have tweaked one thing every single stream. I try to improve one thing every single time. And I go back, I watch the VODs, I listen to them. I get feedback from others whenever I'm playing more kid focused things, or like, things that younger viewers would like, when I did a playthrough of Banjo Kazooie. I love that. It's a very, bright, colorful thing. I watched it with my kids to just see
Mhm.
their reactions. And like, I try to just improve, always be improving. So even today, even though I'm not doing a normal stream, I'm just joining as a guest, I improved one little thing that no one will ever notice, but I
Right.
know it's there.
Right.
um Sometimes I even ask, I'll say, hey, so I changed this one little random thing, and I'll give a hint, and it's fun to watch chat try and guess what that thing was, and they never get it, but it's
So
always
you're
just little things.
because one of the things that we've been thinking about at Blessing Boat, obviously, it's kind of crazy. We are not an affiliate yet.
Wait,
Um,
really?
really, because when we originally started out, we wanted to do multi-stream, right? And Twitch was against
Ah,
multi-streaming, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not going to become affiliate because I don't want to. I want to do multi-stream. I want to go on this, and but by
right.
doing that too, that almost got us in trouble on YouTube because we had some guests that came in there that obviously silenced the VOD for the music in Twitch, but
Oh,
it hit YouTube pretty hard, and so we
yep,
had to
that makes
basically,
sense.
try to do something with that, but we're still learning on that too. Obviously, Twitch is changing now. They said that
Mhm.
maybe affiliates won't even need to be an affiliate anymore. Everybody can basically become an affiliate by joining Twitch. Because
Right.
they looked at the numbers, right? They looked at it and go, "Wow,
Mhm.
there's over what 150 million people or something that are not
Yeah,
affiliates.
so
Why,
many. Right.
yeah, why not get paid, by them when they have an audience, even if it's a one, it's still money coming in." And
Yeah.
obviously, I think the last thing I remember was there was like 7 million viewers every month on Twitch, something
Wow.
astronomical like that. And so when I started this idea, I always said to myself I would want to be just the 1%, right? And be able to
Mhm.
pass on that candle to another 1% person,
Yeah.
because
Right.
eventually it'll grow, and eventually more and more people will get to know the light of Jesus, because it's
Yeah.
not just dependent upon me. And I know you and other people are really big streamers and they got a lot of audiences, but I kind of did it as a different approach, and I'm like, I don't really want a whole bunch of people in my stream. First of all, I couldn't keep up
Right.
with chat. And second of all, I would
Yeah.
rather have other people do, that type of work. And I'm not that good, but, I'm learning just like you said. Um, you know, you've obviously observed this event kind of outside as a viewer. What do you like about the event? What do you think that people want to hear?
Yeah. I think it's like I said, I'm happy to celebrate because I think it's an awesome and meaningful and needed ministry. That's what I view it as. Yeah, it's a different kind of ministry, but it's a ministry because it's empowering and enabling other people who feel that call to grow, to reach more people, to
Hmm.
be able to build connections that maybe they couldn't have otherwise. Like with every one of us, we can talk about how we've heard about Blessing Boat, the connections we've made because of Blessing Boat. It's been effective. So I think it's wonderful because um, it it just it helps those people to be able to get in front of more people and to reach not only like viewers that they wouldn't have otherwise, but also to build connections with other creators.
Mhm.
Because as a creator, it's very easy to just get tunnel vision, to be focused on what you're doing, your plans, your next thing, and you got to do that. But often we do that to the detriment of building relationships with other people who feel the same call, where
Mhm.
there could be like awesome opportunities to collab and do things together, but maybe it's just having people that you can talk to that actually understand, that know
Mhm.
the very unique things that you're going through. But if we don't, man, if we're trying to do this all by ourselves 100% in our own silo, it's a very uphill battle. Like I said, back in the early days, there weren't very many on the platform who were doing that. There were
Mhm.
some, and but there weren't things like Blessing Boat. There weren't things like the Christian Tag. There weren't things like
Mhm.
community discords that have so many different creators. Like there's so many tools now that help Christians and family friendly streamers and stuff to be able to connect with people that are on mission with them.
Mhm.
And that's another huge thing, is realizing that, while there's millions of people on the platform, and maybe there's just, a few hundred Christians, we're a drop in the bucket, but still,
Mhm.
like, uh, building relationships with those people is so helpful, is so needed. And realizing that those people are not our enemy, our opposition, our competition, or anything like that, but
Mhm.
instead, we're just different parts of the body. One of us is an eye, one's an ear, one's a foot, one's an elbow, one's a whatever. We're all different. We play different games. We have different personalities. We create different types and styles of content, but it's all needed,
Mhm.
because there's people who they want to watch VTuber, or they want to watch retro games, or they want to watch people who do Bible studies, or they want to watch whatever. But nowadays, there are Christians to fill every one of those very niche little things. And I think
Yep.
that's wonderful. So something like the Blessing Boat, it adds exposure, it builds connections. It's just a wonderful thing. I love it.
Cool. I appreciate that so much. Obviously, you kind of answered the third question about why should people care about the
Oh,
event, but that's okay. You
yeah.
went forward. That's okay. I don't unless you want to add some other stuff. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that really pretty much summarizes it all. But yeah, there's just so many benefits that come to it. So anytime people come through that are saying that they want to get started as a Christian streamer, I try to plug a few different things, and Blessing Boat is
Cool.
one of them, because I think it's just such a practical, an easy in, an easy on road, and that's because y'all been doing it all this time, and you've got the system down. There's a process. You get in, you're a part of that scheduled day, and you're gonna see results from that. You're gonna meet new people. People are gonna
Mhm.
see you for the first time. It's gonna give you an opportunity. So yeah, I try to plug it as much as I can whenever people are coming
Um,
in, and I know they're just starting on their journey. I say, man, you got to jump on Blessing Boat. You got to get in this. You got to get in this. They will help you. Don't try to do it by yourself. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. There are people who are here for you, who will support you, and who can help you. Uh, you know, start at the 30-yard line instead of at the zero. You can have this big advantage if you take advantage of all these tools.
Well, that's cool. One thing we're missing, obviously, is like a technical class or a technical person that can
Mm.
follow up on somebody. And I'm still looking for that. I mean, I know a lot of technical people, of course, but they're busy and doing some other stuff. I mean, I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my good friend Shaggy. Uh,
Hmm.
he has been able to take my stream to the next level. My computer really was horrible at first. I had to upgrade
Oh,
my computer, had to do a whole bunch of things. I mean, internet here was really slow, so finally they got fiber and now I have a faster internet. I mean, I couldn't even stream at 2000 kps. That's how bad it
oh
was.
man.
I only had like I think it was like 10 megabytes of upload speed.
Oof.
So you can
Yeah.
imagine my video was like my audio was horrible, but I
That's
kept on
rough, and
going.
that's one of those just never ending thing until people
Yeah.
get access to fiber. Like we don't have fiber here at the church, and I reach out to the ISP like they probably get so tired of hearing from me. I'm like, every other week, I'm like, hey, any plans for fiber? Any chance we can get that? Can I trade in some download speed to get some more upload speed?
Right.
They don't care.
That's
But
wild.
yeah,
That's wild. We got it, and you guys don't.
yeah, we don't. We've got 50 up, and I'm pushing it because I'm doing like my own stream on Twitch. I'm doing a much higher bitrate stream to YouTube as a multi-stream thing now that we can do that. I'm also doing the fish stream. I'm about to add another 24/7 stream. Like I'm maxing that thing out. And man, if we could have fiber, it'd be wonderful. But
It's
you
funny
got to
because
work with what you got.
yeah, I know because my friend in California who's usually helping me, he said he had like 100 megabytes or something, or 150 megabytes. I'm like, huh? I need to move to California, not to Central America.
Right.
But I'm happy that it has improved. Well, the last thing I want to talk to you about, obviously, and this is the most important, of course, is why did you accept Christ? What is your story?
Mm.
What is your testimony?
Yeah. So my testimony, it's funny you bring that up because I actually just a couple of weeks ago on my own stream, I walked through like everything. I told a big long version of it. I won't do that whole thing today. But um, my story for many years I thought was a boring testimony. Um, I was born into a true Christian family with born again parents, as my mom and my dad, who had their own relationship with the Lord, who had us in church every chance there was, who read the Word to us, who introduced, I say us, my sister and I have a younger sister, introduced us to Christ at a young age, and I, for as long as I can remember, I've loved the Lord. I've been in church. I've loved the Word and all those kind of things, but I can't remember a time that I didn't love Jesus,
Mm.
um, and that is a huge blessing. Um, and so for a long time, I thought, well, it's a very boring testimony. I didn't, get called out of all this like insane depravity and wickedness and sin and blah, blah, blah. That's my sister's story. She went down a very different path and she is radically on fire for the Lord now and has this
Sure.
wonderful, testimony that, makes everyone just whatever. But what I've learned about my testimony over the years is whenever I started to take my eyes off of me in the story and put
Mm,
my eyes on Jesus in the story, it changed everything.
mm,
Because so often we do think about just ourselves and, well, I went through this, I did this, this happened to me. And yes, that's part of the testimony. That's our story. But whenever I focus on where God was in all these different things that I've walked through in my story, I've
mm,
realized that so much of my story is built on and is based on the faithfulness of God, the keeping hand of God, that He has protected me through so many things, that He has kept me through so many things, so many times that given the chance, I would have done something stupid, destroyed my life, made a terrible decision, and He has protected me through all
mm,
of it. He has kept me. He has been faithful. Even whenever I have been faithless, He has been faithful. And that just, blows my mind. So taking
mm,
my eyes off of me and putting them on Him in the story has changed everything. So as I said, I grew up in this Christian family and I was introduced to the Lord at a young age. I remember that one of the earliest main things in that story that I can remember is that I was baptized when I was 8, which shows me that my parents and my pastors at the time, they saw that was real and genuine in me, and that I understood, and so I was baptized. But um, so it was sometime before that, whenever it was real and legit. But I don't remember the day. I wish I did. I really wish I did. Um, but it's one of those things. I hope on the other side of eternity, I can look back at things and be like, there was a moment. I want to put in like the big, the DVD on the big screen in heaven and just watch different things I want to see. That was the moment.
no.
Um, but so I, growing up, I can tell a little more of my story. Growing up, I was basically always busy doing one of a few things. either I was in school, I was asleep, I was in church, or I was playing tennis. Tennis was my the goal for my life, the plan for my life. From my parents, it was always to be a professional tennis player. So I mean, from my fifth birthday, they had me with private lessons with the number one player at Texas A&M.
Oh,
Got private coaching with several ex-professional tennis players. I was just talking about this on stream like yesterday or something. My multi multiple times a week, I was the whipping boy for the number one player in Guatemala, who had moved to Texas, and so I'd play him multiple times, and I'd have my coaches behind me, training me, teaching me matchmaking or whatever. So I grew up playing tennis,
huh.
and that was always the plan. Um, so when I was about 15 to 16 ish, my parents got a divorce. It was totally rocked and shocked me and my sister, and it led my sister down that path that started her testimony. But for us, it was completely out of left field because, to their
Yeah.
credit, they did a wonderful job of never exposing us to anything. We
Mm.
never saw them fight, argue, never knew there was an issue. So, which is awesome and a blessing. I'm very grateful for that. But it also made it such a just, you know, hook out of left
Traumatic.
field. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Why? What happened? Um, and so from that moment, my I was, like I said, about 16 at the time, and so I was given the choice of who I was going to live with, and I chose to go with my dad because my dad was he was pushing harder on the tennis side. It was his dream. He
Mm.
wanted to be a pro, didn't make it. He tried to live vicariously through me, and I knew if my tennis was going to have a chance, I needed to be with him. Not that my mom was against it. It's just he was going to push harder. And so because of that, my sister went with my mom, and that those next few years were very hard. I say that I became homeless on that day,
Wow.
and still I think of it that way. If I want to take my kids back to daddy's home, it doesn't exist. It hasn't for a long time. I have great relationships with both my parents. They're both still living and doing well and remarried and happy, and everything's great. But my home disappeared that day. So that was a big major thing that the Lord had to help and bring me through. Um, and it took a long time for healing for sure. But fast forward a little bit more, and I went to go play tennis for the number one team in the country on a full ride scholarship and blah, blah, blah. And while I'm there at secular university playing on this full ride, my only thought was for tennis, and this is the next step. I got to get an education while I'm here, so I will, but I'm just training for, pro after that.
Mm.
And in my freshman year, that's whenever I felt like the Lord was calling me into ministry.
Mm.
And that was never on the table, on my radar, in my desire, like at all. Um, I mean, as a little kid, I would say, oh, yeah, I'll be a pastor one day
Right.
because my grandparents were pastors, but I just wanted to be like them, and love the Lord, love being in church, but that was it. But when, yeah, in my freshman year, I felt like the Lord was calling me into ministry. So I, talked to my pastor and what does this mean? How do I do this? How do I navigate this? I got to know. And so he said, well, I mean, obviously you gotta really pray about this. This is a major thing. So you need to know that you know. And so I prayed and did something I've never done since or before, but it's just what I decided to do because I wanted to be sure. And I pulled a Gideon and I did a fleece kind of thing. I was like, all right, I got to know, God, if you give me 3 specific confirmations, I'm all in. Whatever it is, I'll do it. And so I don't remember what the first 2 were. I just remember that they came very quickly, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. I guess I'm going to be in ministry. But then there was a pause for a while and there was nothing. And so I'm starting to think while I'm still, doing school and I'm doing tennis, and I'm at this point, I've already started dating my now wife of 16 years. But I'm got all these other things going on. And I'm like, okay, was this all just me? Was this a coincidence? What's going on? And then my grandpa passed away. And on my way to the funeral, on our way to the funeral, my dad asks me if I will speak at the funeral. I'm like, no, I can't speak in front of people. I was very much like, I would, in like a high school speech class, I was like physically shaking at my desk at the idea of having to get up in front of people. I could not speak in front of people. I'm very introverted, very quiet. Like, I was like, no, I cannot do that. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to do that. He was like, no, it'll be fine. Just, get up there. You can tell some stories, share the gospel. It'll be great. I was like, yeah, okay. Easy for you to say. Whatever. So I don't remember what I said. I remember getting up there. I told some stories. I tried to share the gospel. And when it was over and we're shaking hands and hugging necks and all that, I remember this little lady who came up to me and said, that was lovely what you said. You ought to be a pastor. And whenever she said it, it wasn't just like another passing comment, because maybe other people said it too. I don't remember, but it was very clear. The Holy Spirit was like, boom, there's number three. It's like, okay, yes, sir. So went and talked to my pastor again and told him that story and about that confirmation. And so I said, so what's the process? What do I do? What, classes, education, seminary, like what does this look like? And so he walked me through all that, but I had to do 4 years of education on the ministry side of things. And at the same time, I was still doing 4 years of secular study too, playing tennis. I mean, I got the scholarship or whatever. I'm going to play tennis and dating my wife, and I'm traveling and all those kind of things. It's a very busy season, but uh, during that time, oh man, I was just gonna share something. I don't know. It fell out of my head. That happens a lot. But yeah, so that was a very very busy season for me. Oh yeah, it was that I was like, okay, so I'm still at the secular school too. And if I'm going to be in pastoral ministry, I need to learn how to speak in front of people. So I changed my major to a speech comm major, speech communications,
Wow.
and took 4 years of learning how to speak publicly and do those sort of things. And it's helped me a lot, yes, in pastoral ministry and also in streaming. I've learned how to speak, how to enunciate, how to present myself, how to do those little things that you wouldn't think, but they do make a big difference, and they take practice. In fact, kind of a funny story from those days is one of my senior level classes. I took a radio broadcast class, and the assignment was that we all had the same copy of script, and we had to go into the recording studio and record or read the copy, and then we would listen to it as a class and critique everybody. And whenever it was my turn and mine was played in front of everybody and people are critiquing, there was one lady in the class who said, I know this is going to sound really weird, but your voice, it's very like calming and soothing and relaxing. And I think that if my grandma died, I would want you to be the one to tell me.
Oh my
I
God.
was like, oddly specific. And actually, that is very good to know because going into ministry. So yeah, that comes into play. But that's not like, as a 19, 20-year-old man, that's not the thing you want to hear about your voice. You want to sound manly and tough and not soft and comforting and encouraging and relaxing. But it is what it is. So I've learned over the years to lean into that. It's a gift and it's a strength, and it's not a weakness. It's not a thing that I should be upset about. It's something that the Lord has blessed me with. So I use it for his glory. And so that's why, like on stream, I've done a lot of Bible reading. I love reading the Bible anyway, but people seem to enjoy the sound of my voice, so I read the Bible. And I've done like audio Bibles and those kind of things with it, and people really, really seem to enjoy that. And fast forward to, today, I've been, in pastoral ministry we're in our 17th year. I've been streaming. We're in our 7th year. I've been married for 16 years. We've got 4 amazing children, 2 biological, 2 adopted.
Cool.
And just, yeah, the Lord has been so, so good to me.
That's
And
cool.
that's a snapshot of the story.
That's a great story. I mean, even though like you said, we had Indy on, and obviously he was the bad boy, and now he
Oh yeah,
became the
I love
good
Indy.
boy.
By the way, he's awesome.
Yeah, he is cool. I'm really blessed that I got to know him too. But it's interesting to see that God moved for the fact that your grandfather died and your father kind of forced you to go, and then this old lady comes in there and says, "Oh, you'd be talking in the funeral," so kind of like cemented the whole idea of you being a
Yeah,
pastor. And it's
right.
kind of cool because I actually, my name is called priest estate in English. That's what
Oh,
Preston means. And
huh.
I was named because my mother said, "Oh, I really like this pastor," and his name was Preston.
Oh
So,
wow.
but I've never wanted to be a pastor.
Mhm.
I've never wanted. I think it's because I didn't want the responsibility, right?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
didn't want everybody to look at me going, "I have to be absolutely perfect. I
Oh,
can't,
trust me, I understand
be
all those,
bad."
qualification passages and living above reproach and blah blah blah. All this, and then things like James 3:1. Let not many of you become teachers because you'll be held to stricter standard
Guidelines.
judgment. I'm
Yep.
like, oh my goodness, there's so many things. It's scary, but God's grace is so good, and He has helped me through all of it. I couldn't and wouldn't want to try doing any of this without the help of the Lord.
Because I remember, I think I came in and I asked you that question when I first got to know you. You were playing, obviously, Doom. And
Oh,
even though, and
yeah.
even though what the creator of it is a Christian, I was just blown away by what you said, because you said it's not, if you don't like this game, it's because you haven't been convicted by the Spirit.
Mm,
Because there's a lot of games out there, obviously, that I will not touch with a 10-foot pole, because I
yeah.
think
Same.
we as Christians have a responsibility to not have anybody stumble. you know
Hmm.
and some of those games, unfortunately, are way beyond, I don't think anybody should play.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I did hear a side what you were saying, and then I heard a side of another guy that was playing GT5, and he said, "Yeah, but this
Mm,
is where the people are. This is where
yeah.
the sin is, and you got to get into that." But I'm like, not a if I'm not a pastor, I'm not going to get into it, because I could get swept into it in a big way. I could get addicted to it, and I
Yeah.
could go the opposite way. So how do you? Because I've had discussions with a lot of my friends on this, even in myself. There's a lot of games I feel that are fun, right? Like, especially
Mhm.
like the shooting games and stuff. But I'm like, I haven't been convicted not to play it, but on stream I have been, because
Yeah.
people are following, and because I have what is going on here, I feel responsible in making sure that I don't play something that somebody's going to question or somebody's going to stumble. How do you deal with that, especially, you being a streamer, you playing some of the games? Kind of go over that if you can, real quick, of what
Yeah,
your
sure.
thoughts are.
So, like I always say in my little opening spiel, I say, "Hi, my name's Pastor Dootsyn. I'm a real pastor who plays Pokemon, Doom, and everything in between, all with the intention of sharing God's love with the gaming world because I believe God loves gamers, and so do I." But Pokemon and Doom are on very opposite sides of the spectrum, as far as how I think about games. Whenever I started streaming, one of the first main games that I was playing was Doom, was like old school Doom. I've
Hmm.
always really enjoyed it. Um, in my mind, even as a kid and then as an adult, just always, I've never thought of it as like that these are demons or I'm going to hell. I know that's what they say it is, but they all just look like monsters to me, and that's how I thought of them as a kid, and so it's still
Hmm.
how I think of them when I play it, but, I've kinda leaned or whenever I used to play it, I used to lean into that. I would, title my streams "Pastor Killing Demons," and people would come in all the time mostly because of the title and the username, and
Right.
they'd troll and make jokes and whatever, and that's fine. Cool, I got thick skin, bring it on, let's go. And so we would build relationship, have fun, and that would start a lot of conversations because
Hmm.
it would usually start around that question: well, is it okay to play a game like this? And so that there's an open door where I can start talking about the things that really matter and move beyond just gaming, because yeah, it's a video game. And yes, I'm legitimately playing it and having fun. I actually like these games. But put the games aside, none of this really matters. Here's like the stuff that really matters. So I can start talking about, the conviction of the spirit and those kind of things. Um, and it's just an easy open door to start those conversations. And it still happens to this day with different things. In fact, look, the poster behind me just changed to Doom. It changes to a lot of that. I just noticed that right whenever I'm talking about it. But it still happens to this day. There's people who have different thoughts and opinions on different games, and so that conversation still happens a lot. But I think you already kind of hit on it, that I had shared something before, that one of the key things in this is learning to listen to and yield to the convicting voice of the Holy Spirit. So take Doom, for example. I have played, and let's say streamed. I have streamed old school Doom, the 2016 Doom remake, and Doom Eternal, and had fun doing it, but and didn't feel convicted about it or anything. But since I ended the last playthrough or whatever, Doom Eternal, I did feel convicted, like in the idea of, this is it was there for a season, it fulfilled its purpose, it helped us to minister to certain people. Now it's a game I don't need to play, and I don't, and I haven't. So again, it's learning to yield to the conviction of the Holy Spirit. There was a story that I've shared a lot on this topic, where in probably it was first year of streaming, I played, and I don't play horror games. I don't like being scared. So this is very rare for me, but I played the Resident Evil 2 remake. I had never played a Resident Evil game. I didn't really know anything about them, but I had just the 2 remake had come out, and it had gotten a lot of reviews, and it sounded good. It seemed fun, and it seemed like, oh, this isn't like the new scary horror things. This is from an older time when it was more puzzle based. And I was like, oh, well, it might be fun. So I played it, and I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. In fact, I did some goofy things with it. I modded it and turned the big main bad guy into Thomas the Tank Engine, the big, happy blue thing. And every time, instead of his like scary footsteps, it would play the Thomas and Friends, whatever theme song. And so it became funny.
Fun. Yeah.
But the game, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And so when I finished, I was like, that was actually really fun. Maybe I'd like more of these games. So I looked up what the newest one was at the time, and it was Resident Evil 7 that had just come out. Still full price, $60 game. And I was like, well, if 2 remake was great, then I guess 7 will be great too. So I bought it full price and started a stream of it. And within, I maybe got an hour in or something. And the whole time I was feeling eaten up. There was like the Holy Spirit was saying, no, this is not something you need. And so I switched back to just chatting, and I was like, hey guys, sorry, I'm not saying you can't play this game, but I'm saying I can't play this game. I am feeling very convicted over this. We're going to do something else. And I didn't know at the time that you could get refunds from Steam, but that ship has long since sailed, because that was several years ago. But yeah, basically I just learned a $60 lesson there. But yeah, that was a learning moment for me, to learn even in the moment, and a teaching moment too, because I was able to use it to say, we need to be willing to yield to the conviction of the Holy Spirit, because it would have been easy to just ignore that and it's fine, I can justify it, whatever, I don't care, and play the game. But if God's saying I don't need to play that, then I don't need to play that. But I was also saying, I'm not trying to put this on anyone else. I'm just saying personally, I'm convicted. I can't play this. So
interesting.
yeah, it's there's always the the clear things about gaming being a sinful thing. Like if it's something that entices sin within you, if it entices lust or whatever, like those kind of things, or if the game itself just becomes an idol in your life, if it's taking the place of the Lord, it's all you think about and want to do and all that, you'll be convicted too,
Right.
and you need to yield to the conviction of the Holy Spirit. But the content itself, I think that's where, as gamers and especially as streamers, you hit on a very important point, that we're playing games in front of people and we don't want to be a stumbling block for others. So we really need to be sensitive to the conviction of the Holy Spirit. Those games for Resident Evil 2 and for the Doom while I was playing it, it felt like those were things that I was using to try and be a light, to actively be a light in those spaces. And then when I was done, all right, nope, don't need to play that game anymore. I uninstalled.
Yeah.
I haven't played them since. They were great games. I had fun, but I just haven't played them since. And so it's funny, I'm like kind of actively starting to think ahead and pray about the new Doom game that's coming out,
Uh,
because it looks really cool, but I don't know if this is something the Lord wants me to play. And so I don't know yet. I hadn't gotten any kind of clear answers or feeling or anything on that. So maybe that'll be a game I play. Maybe it won't.
it's funny that you mentioned the Resident Evil because I was there at that stream when you basically
Were you
quit.
really?
Yeah, I have no
Oh,
idea.
wow.
But yeah, I was because I remember you saying that I just don't like this game. I don't feel right playing this, and
Yeah.
you
And
stopped.
people have
So
asked over
yeah.
the years, what was it about it? And I can't even point to a specific thing. I don't even remember many specific things. I just remember at the moment being like, I, I don't know. I'm just convicted. I can't play this game.
And just last thing, because I know you got to go and we got to move on. But one thing I kind of like about your stream too is that you have a reward. I don't know why you put that reward on. Of that, if they have like what 20,000 points or something, they can have you make you play Subnautica.
Oh,
And
Subnautica.
you
Oh
hate
my
the
goodness.
ocean.
I hate the ocean so much. All because of Echo. Echo the Dolphin back in 1992 or 4 or whenever it came out, and little 8-year-old Dootsyn got it on my Sega Genesis, and that game permanently traumatized me and gave me like legit, whatever the word is, the thalassophobia, the fear of the big open ocean.
Interesting.
And so I've since overcome the fear of Echo the Dolphin specifically by playing it and streaming it and beating it. And that game is a trip. That is one of the weirdest, most bizarre games I've ever played. Yeah, it's just crazy. It makes sense now that it scared me so much as a kid because it's very weird and creepy. But yeah, Subnautica, a game that it's almost like the designer said, all right, what's everything that Dootsyn doesn't like in a game? Let's make that game. So he's afraid of the ocean. Okay, you crash land on an alien planet that's 99% ocean. Check. It's got crafting. Yeah, I don't like crafting. It's got survival. I don't like survival. It's a big open world. I don't like big open worlds. It's like every little thing I don't like. So it's like a game just designed to torture me. And so chat, likes to torture me with that game. And the scariest thing ever, I have not done it yet, but I did a subathon earlier this year for my birthday. And one of the stretch goals was to make me play Subnautica in VR.
Oh,
I said I didn't even own a VR headset. I said I will go buy a VR headset and play Subnautica in VR if we hit this thing, and they did. So I have the
no.
VR headset. I've started setting it up. I haven't gotten to that point yet to play it, but I was setting it up, and I got like through all the Steam Link stuff and got to the menu of Subnautica itself, and like looked out on
It's the
over the
ocean.
water, and there's the title Subnautica, and I look 360 around me and it's just water. I couldn't even push the start button. I could not push them like through the menu to start and go under the water. I was so petrified. So
Wow.
yeah, that's not going to be fun.
But you set it
I will
up.
have the heart rate thing and everything.
I mean, you set it up so you have it's your own stream. So why do you do that to yourself?
That's a great question. I don't know why I do these things to myself. For the
It's
entertainment of
content.
the
It's
world.
content.
It's content. They'll love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Uh,
No,
yeah.
that sounds fun though, VR. Because I mean, I have a VR headset too, and I played the mountain game where you climb and you
Oh
have to
yeah.
climb up the mountain. Oh my gosh, that's hard, and it's so
Is it?
exhausting. I mean, I did it once, and I'm sweating, and it's hard to, the only thing I don't like about VR is you can't really stream it, right? It doesn't look good streaming
Oh,
because it's 2D
it's yeah.
in
Yep.
streaming world. But boy, when you're in it, it is a
Mhm.
total different perspective. You're looking down, like you said,
Right.
360. You're like, oh, I am here. I'm actually here.
So
But no, that's great. I really appreciate your time. Say hi to your wife. I hope you continually do streaming. I think you've given us a lot of information that can help the new streamers, the old streamers. You were the pioneer, one of the pioneers in it, and I'm just so encouraged by you. And I mean, I was this close this year of not streaming at all. That's how
oh
close I
wow.
was since quitting. Because you look at numbers, and numbers weren't there,
Mhm.
and Blessing Boat does really well, but my stream doesn't. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And all of a sudden, I had one person come in that I met recently, and she's at a different location, of course, and she said,
Mhm.
"Please do not stop streaming. I will
Yeah.
cry if you don't stop streaming." and
Yeah.
and and then I decided, okay, well, I guess I need to be here. And I've had stories of people coming in, and I'm helping them, and I'm like, wow, okay, well, okay, maybe I need to stay this. But
Right.
it's a time commitment, and that's the hardest thing, I think, is just taking the time, putting the schedule together, and sticking to it. And like you said,
Yeah.
just all the technical things that you got to do, and all the things you have to learn, and then there's new things coming out, and you're like, oh, I want that, but I'm like, oh no, now I got to learn another thing. It's
Yeah.
like it's really really tough. But no, I really appreciate your time. If there's anything that we can pray for you, let us know. You're on the Blessing Boat Discord, or no?
Yes. 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 I'm in it.
Yeah. If you need any prayer, let us know so we can pray for you. Because I think it takes pioneers sometimes to just show us that it can be done, and that we want to be part of that. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you all you
Absolutely.
do.
Well,
All right.
thank you so much again for having me. Congrats on so many years, and man, it's just I'm so happy to be a part of this. So I hope and pray that the rest goes well. And yeah, thank you again for having me.
All right. Have a good day. God bless.
All right,
See
bye,
ya.
y'all.
All right. So that was.